Hi Gary, welcome. I'm so excited that you're going to share your encounter story with us today. So when my husband and I first came to Springvale about 9 years ago, you and Val were one of the first few people that we met and were welcomed so warmly, and you just had such a friendly demeanor about you, and it made us feel like we had a sense of belonging and community. And later to understand that this was part of Connections, and that's part of the ministry that you help lead. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So Connections is a ministry that's really dedicated to new people, and we're just here to help new people get feel welcome and get settled in. You probably encounter Connections every Sunday. The greeters at the door, the hosts in the lobby, the welcome desk, the hosts in the auditorium, the ushers, and then there's people that do events for newcomers and follow up with emails. And then behind it all, there's a great leadership team that makes it all happen.
Yeah, it's amazing how many places you can plug in, because of course I see people serving coffee, and then there's people at the counter, and of course when we walk through the door there's always somebody who says, "Hi, nice to see you." And so that's all part of Connections, and obviously people can volunteer to serve there as well. How did you make such a commitment?
Well, when Val and I arrived at Springvale, the question wasn't whether we would serve, the question was where could we get plugged in. And I had just retired. We had been through 6 corporate moves, and we had been in a number of new churches. We knew what it was like to be new in a country, in a church, in a city, and we knew what a challenge that first year can be. We also had the privilege of being in a church that had a Connections ministry, and we saw what an impact that had made. And so when we arrived at Springvale, we thought maybe this is a place that we could get involved.
Nice. You mentioned challenges. I'm sure there were some struggles along the way. Do you want to share some of that with us?
You know, I wouldn't have missed the last 14 years for anything. It's been a great ministry to be involved in and a great team to work with. There's really 3 opportunities in Connections. The first one is, how do we meet the new people when they're here the first week or 2? Usually people who are new are quite timid, and so finding them so that we can welcome them and just make them feel at home is the first challenge. The second opportunity is, if people decide to settle in here, how can we shorten the time it takes for them to feel like this is their church home? It's their church family, and they're ready to minister back to others. And then our third opportunity is to find people. It takes a lot of people to run this ministry. Pre-COVID, we were about 75 people. And so we're always on the lookout for new people. And if I could put a plug in, if this is an area that you would like to serve in, contact Michelle McKenzie or just drop by the welcome desk and they'll help you out.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because I think so often this is a vulnerable place. Like, people make a decision to attend church for the very first time and walk through the doors. And for some people, they've grown up in it, so it's just an easy thing. It's part of their DNA. But for other people who are feeling a sense of wanting to check out a church, and if they're not received well, because this is a place where, you know, we should belong. And oftentimes people don't actually have that experience. But with your leadership and the way that you're running it, and I mean, I know from attending the church that it is a friendly place and that people are genuinely happy and welcoming. And you know, every Sunday you can text and say hello and get a coffee card, which always is great because we love coffee. But how have you seen God also work in this area for you?
I think over the years I've seen God working on us being more outward focused and focused on the community. I think we're known as a welcoming church and a friendly church. And it's just amazing when you look at how many people have checked us out. Hundreds of people have checked us out over the past few years. And so many families and individuals have settled in and made this their church home. You know, when I train new people on Connections, I tell them, just do your best and let God do the rest. And it's been so amazing to see God at work and God fulfilling the vision that He has for Springvale here in Stouffville.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for your humble service. I know that you don't like doing things like this, and being spotlighted. But it is really important that we as a church to recognize the faithful leadership of people like yourself and Val, and just thank you for continuing to do this ministry.
You're welcome.